Hi, I'm Sara. We have already set our intentions and our prayers for this session, so enjoy and learn.
This next question kind of goes hand in hand with an answer you gave a few questions ago. Based on the reading I've been doing, I learned that without unconditional love, we permit lower energy and frequency beings into our lives and illnesses and things like that. That leads to things like alcoholism, cigarette use, smoking, drugs, violence, etc. Is that a correct statement?
Yeah, and you can take it farther. It's what creates the fear.
Good
Fear
point.
of everything.
It
Fear of
is.
each other. Fear of someone looking different or sounding different.
Thank
Fear
you.
of Mars. Fear of
Yeah.
microbes. Germaphobes.
Yep. I understand.
Just, and it does. Fear of what she's been reading about. Fear of allowing really low frequency beings into your home, into your being, your personal being, and it has deleterious effects.
Yeah.
And it's like, and you keep feeding it by being scared witless.
Mm-hmm. Instead of being smart about it.
Yeah. But that's a whole nother
Yeah.
session.
Yep. In the last book that I finished reading, the author makes mention of a process we can use to see things we look at through the senses of our guides, and hence being able to see more of what reality really is. Is this something that Sara already does when her hand plays with the threads of reality? Search Sara's mind. You'll see that.
You started out with a question and then finished it off with something totally different.
No, it was a lead. It was a lead. It wasn't a question. It was.
And so I'm trying to figure it out. I know what you mean by her playing with,
Okay.
But it's only certain.
I guess the question is, when Sara can do that, is she doing it with the aid from her guides, or is it just her doing it?
If people use their own inner senses, they don't need to borrow anybody else's.
Okay, thank you.
There.
Good answer.
Including her, Sara.
Yeah.
So I think she is just open enough that her consciousness is experiencing that particular thing.
Okay.
Because it has its limits as well. It's not like she can see. It's not even really seeing with her third eye. It's just her consciousness is open up. When she can bring herself to have that kind of openness in her consciousness and her whatever it takes, then she'll be ready to be utilized by higher beings than any of us on the team, all of us put together.
So is that a way that she can actually alter the material, the illusion in which we live? Can she change an object by playing with the threads of the materials? Follow where I'm heading?
All I can think of was only an engineer would ask that because he wants to do the same thing.
No, I don't.
But, or at least know how it's done.
I don't want to know how it's done. I don't want to take that away from Sarah. I just want to know if that is something that she would be able to do if she wanted to. You know, the way I see that, I see it as the ability to create matter out of energy. I see what she's doing as the first step in learning how to recognize that energy that creates matter. And by her continuing to develop that area, she will get to the point that she can have the ability to affect our reality, affect this energy that creates our reality to change things. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah, but in one way of looking at it, you all already have that ability.
Yes.
And another way of looking at it, I was smiling because she was like, I don't want to do that.
Okay, that was all.
She doesn't want to change reality or make up reality or any of that thing. She was just fascinated, and it was a step in her learning that she needs to meditate enough that she can put herself in that openness of consciousness whenever she desires. That's the purpose of it.
Okay, thank you.
Not playing with the threads of reality. That's not the purpose of it.
I didn't know what the intention, what the purpose of that was. That's why I was asking those questions, trying to determine what the purpose was.
Okay.
And now that I understand it's a training step for her.
Yeah.
And when it gets to the point that she can do that probably on demand or at will, that she can move on to a higher set of energy team beings.
Yes.
Okay. That was because she wants to go with more.
She desires higher frequency beings than even we in the team.
Yes, I didn't want to say that.
Well, I said it just a few moments ago myself.
I know.
And that's understandable. And it's just like Thane is no longer a part of her learning. He did his bit. He was useful as he wanted to be. And when she reached a certain level, we were able to begin to step in.
Okay.
You know, and eventually she will, if she meditates, she might get to that point before her time on this earth is done and actually be of use to spread the word. She has a belief system that she needs to get rid of.
Can you share that with us? I will cut it out of the tape.
I'm not sure you have to. We'll see. But she has this belief that there are enough channelers already out there who are spreading the good news, so to speak. Some of them are ETs, some of them are spiritual beings, some are archangels, some are fantastic beings. And she thinks that one more, world doesn't need one more. Well, she needs to let that go. The world can use as many as possible.
Yep, because each one talks to a different demographic.
Different, yeah.
Okay.
Each one speaks to the people that they can connect with.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is true. Previously, you'd mentioned that one of the reasons people want to incarnate into a 3D world is for the experience, to learn things, to gain experiences, sensations, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Does that mean that in your realm, there's no such thing as experiences, as sensations, as feelings? Based on previous questions I've asked, that answer should be no, there aren't. Is my last statement correct?
Mm-mm.
Oh,
There are still experiences.
hi.
And some of that involves things like this.
Well, I'm leading up to that because this is not in your realm.
Ah, I see where you're going. But there are still experiences in our in that realm. Otherwise, how would we know when we are at a point where we could speak through a channeler? How would the souls of corporeal beings know what heaven is like? How could they have their their life review after their physical passing? How could they learn and decide whether they wanted to have another corporeal existence, whether on Earth or some other physical world, or whether they wanted to do other things? There's a host of experiences can be had and are being had, I should
Okay.
say.
Thank you. That answered the question.
Yeah, we don't just float around buzzing with our little energies. There's plenty to do
Okay.
beyond
You
physical existence.
You kind of touched on my next question. So, whenever the team, is visiting Sara, do you feel what she feels in her body?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And does it stay with you kind of like a memory whenever you leave? Like, is it added to
In a way, yes.
to your
Yes.
life, so to speak? The events?
With perhaps less emotion about, clinging to that. But yes, it stays.
Okay. Are you familiar with the concept of exit points in a person's life?
Oh, I've heard it called that.
How many have Sara had so far in her life?
Better to ask her, because she has to go through her memory to figure it all out. But there's probably been, well, at least 2. Ooh, 3. That I can think of, pull out of her memory. But that's for, there's another memory. So she's had a few.
Can you sense mine?
No, they're sort of private.
Well, I can give you access to them.
Well, you're giving me permission.
Yes.
Giving us permission.
Yes.
Wow. Mm-hmm. Oh, 5 for her because there's a joint memory.
Oh, okay.
What was I? I'm seeing at least 6, maybe 7. And
Wow.
that's a relative few. There are people who have multiple tens of exit points, but
Yeah, I can. Yeah, as I was putting this question together, I could think of 3. So there's still some hidden somewhere.
yeah,
Thank you for the information.
you're welcome.
And now you do not have permission in my brain, in my mind.
All right. All right. That's wise on your part.
Yeah. Is Paris Drake a member of Sarah's or my soul family?
Oh, I believe so.
Both or one?
I think both. That's what I'm getting, is both.
Okay, that explains a lot.
At different times, that's it.
Oh,
okay. At
That
different
explains
times.
a lot.
Okay. Because not everybody in a soul family is all reincarnated at the same time. And
Right.
The same, you know. So, yeah, but at different times. Interesting. And he was a mentor to each of you in each of those times.
Cool.
And he is again.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting.
Last question.
Yes.
Sarah and I visited a local bar and grill. You can get the name of it out of her memory. And she believes that we made contact with a entity that hangs around there by the name of Ken Barnhard. Can you confirm the name?
I think that entity was lying.
Can you get the name?
Not without...
I know, you want petties.
Not without being there. And even then, I'm not sure. This person I'm picking up from her mind. She also is not sure that he was forthright with you, and suspects that his name could have been the other name instead of the one he gave you. Nick, yeah. And the last name, who knows? Whether it was his last name or Nick's last name, and it could have been a banquet for all anybody knows. It began with a V, she's sure of that. V-A, probably an R. But yeah, that particular entity, from what I can get from what she was feeling at the time, was just that kind of a scoundrel. He would give anybody a false name, even when he was alive, just to be ornery.
Sarah, well, I don't know so much about Sarah, but I think this is what she thinks. We'd like to have that entity move on. Would it be helpful for you to visit with us there to see if that can be done or not?
We can try, but if he doesn't want to go, he won't go.
Yeah, I know.
And it might not be your place, yours or hers,
Okay.
or ours.
So we ought to just not do anything about it, in other words.
Yeah, the people who own it, work there, who were there all the time. She says, your neighbor
Works there.
works there and has been affected, or,
Mhm.
It picks on him. And if they as a group really want rid of him, then they would have to go through they would have to find a psychic who could actually move the guy along.
Okay.
But they'd have to be careful and be sure they get a well-grounded, knowledgeable psychic to do that. Because you don't want a dabbler to
Right.
try it, because it could open up a can of worms.
Yeah, that's what we would be doing, is dabbling.
Yeah.
So we have done all we are going to do.
Mm-hmm. Oh, you could let them know there, or let your neighbor know that is a possibility. Something, but
I'm pulling hair off your socks. Cat hair.
okay. Oh,
Okay. I have no more questions.
hairy socks.
Do you have any closing remarks, statements, anything you want to say?
Just the usual
Which are?
to your viewers and yourselves. State your intentions in your prayers daily. When you get up in the morning, and send your peace and love, compassion, kindness out to your community, your families, extended families, friends, and out to the whole world every day. And meditate on the same thing every day. You are loved. And you are important. And you are worthy. Because if you weren't, you wouldn't exist. So simply because you're viewing this, simply because you're thinking everybody's crazy, you're still important and valued and loved and worthy. So learn to forgive yourself, and in doing so, you learn to love others better, and it goes outward. What was that movie a long time ago? Pay It Forward or something?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. And it will. And it'll grow, and it'll snowball, and it'll just fan out like the smoke after an explosion, Just remember that. And we in the team, and Bill and Sara here, we all love you as well. Value you. So until next time, goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, thank you. I have to pee.